Welcome to US Numismatics. In today's video, we're diving into the fascinating world of rare 1-cent coins, those ordinary-looking coins that could actually be worth a fortune. From minting errors to low mintage surprises, these hidden gems might be sitting in your pocket right now. Stay tuned as we uncover the most valuable pennies that every collector should know about. Top 1 today, we're diving deep into the world of the 1979 Lincoln penny, a coin that's so common at first glance, most people wouldn't think twice before spending it. But what if I told you that one version of this penny could be worth as much as a brand new luxury car? That's right, this humble 1-cent coin could secretly be worth thousands. And we're going to tell you exactly how and why. Let's start by taking a closer look at the Lincoln penny from 1979. This coin features the familiar profile of President Abraham Lincoln on the front, the same design that's been in circulation since 1909. But don't be fooled by its ordinary appearance. Behind this classic design, the 1979 penny hides some fascinating secrets. During the late 1970s, the U.S. Mint was producing millions of coins to keep up with growing demand. In 1979 alone, hundreds of millions of Lincoln cents were struck at various mint facilities, including Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. With that kind of volume, you'd think every coin would be identical, but that's exactly where things get interesting. In a sea of ordinary copper coins, a few 1979 Lincoln pennies stand out for very specific reasons: minting errors and rare varieties that make them incredibly valuable. Coin collectors are especially interested in rare mistakes, the kind that slip past the mint's quality control and end up in everyday circulation. These include things like off-center strikes, double dies, repunched mint marks, and coins struck on the wrong planchet. Now, let's talk about one of the most sought-after errors, the double die obverse. This occurs when the die that strikes the coin has a slight shift, resulting in a doubling effect, especially noticeable on the date or lettering. A 1979 penny with a clear doubling of the words, "In God We Trust," or "Liberty," can be worth a small fortune to collectors. And yes, these coins have been found in pocket change. Another important factor is the coin's mint mark. The Denver and San Francisco mints used D and S marks respectively. Some rare versions of the 1979 S-proof penny have what's known as a Type 2 mint mark, where the S is much clearer and sharper than usual. These are rarer and tend to be more desirable among proof coin collectors, and don't forget about condition, or what collectors call grade. A 1979 Lincoln penny that's been kept in pristine, uncirculated condition with a perfect red luster can command serious attention at coin shows and auctions. While most of these pennies are worth just face value, the rare ones with errors or in top-grade condition can climb in price very quickly. So how much could the rarest 1979 Lincoln penny actually be worth? Are you ready? A 1979 Lincoln penny with a rare minting error or in flawless condition has been reported to sell for as much as $65,000. Yes, you heard that right, $65,000 for a single penny. Incredible, isn't it? This is why collectors and treasure hunters like you never ignore even the smallest details. So next time you come across a 1979 penny, don't just toss it into your coin jar. Take a close look. You might just be holding a hidden gem. Top 2, we're talking about a regular 1-cent coin, the kind you might find at the bottom of a drawer, inside your piggy bank, or mixed into your spare change. But this isn't just any penny. Some versions of the 1980 Lincoln cent are worth far more than anyone ever expected, and we're about to tell you why. Now, let's begin with a little background. The year was 1980, the start of a new decade, a time of economic change, political tension, and rapid inflation in the United States. While millions of Americans were going about their daily lives, the U.S. Mint was striking hundreds of millions of Lincoln pennies, stamped in copper-coated zinc and distributed across the nation from Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. On the surface, these coins look identical. They feature the iconic bust of Abraham Lincoln on the front and the Lincoln Memorial on the back, a design created by Victor David Brenner that had already been in use for over 70 years by that point. But here's where things get interesting: not all 1980 pennies were struck perfectly. In fact, some were minted with errors, the kind of small imperfections that might go unnoticed by the average person, but to a trained eye, they're gold mines. Let's talk about a few of these rare and valuable minting errors. Point 1. Of the most sought-after types is the double die error. This occurs when the die used to stamp the coin shifts slightly between strikes, creating a doubling effect, especially visible on the date, the word liberty, or the motto, "In God We Trust." If you notice what looks like a shadow or overlapping letters, don't ignore it. That could be a double die, and collectors are always hunting for them. Another type of valuable error is the off-center strike. This happens when the coin blank isn't properly aligned during minting, causing part of the design to be missing or shifted dramatically to one side. Depending on how far off it is, and how visible the date remains, these coins can command serious value. Then there are repunched mint marks, especially from the Denver Mint, marked with a D. If the D appears doubled or slightly misaligned, that coin could be a rare repunched mint mark variety. Collectors love these small differences because they tell a story, a human mistake in a highly automated process. And what about condition? Oh yes, that matters too, a lot. Coins are graded on a scale from poor to mint state. A 1980 penny in mint condition, with no wear, full detail, and bright original luster, is always worth more than a worn, circulated one. But when you combine mint condition with a rare error, that's when things get exciting, because that's where value skyrockets. And let's not forget the proof coins from San Francisco. These were specially made for collectors, with a sharp strike and mirror-like finish. Some of these proof coins, especially if they have errors or are in perfect preservation, are among the most desirable pieces from the 1980s era. Now comes the question we've all been waiting to answer: what is the most a 1980 Lincoln penny could possibly be worth? Drumroll, please. A rare error coin from 1980, in exceptional condition, uncirculated, with a recognized minting mistake, has been recorded to sell for a jaw-dropping $72,000. Yes, $72,000. For a single penny. Incredible, isn't it? So the next time you're sorting through your change or flipping through your old coin collection, don't dismiss that 1980 penny. Top 3. We're diving into the world of one of America's most iconic coins, the Lincoln penny. But we're not just talking about any old cent. We're zeroing in on a small, copper-colored coin that could be hiding a massive secret. Yes, you heard that right. If you've got a 1981 Lincoln penny, it might be worth far more than a single cent. In fact, it could be the most valuable penny in your entire collection. So stay with us, because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to look for, and why this coin is turning heads in the coin collecting world. Let's rewind for a moment and talk about the year 1981. It was the final full year of copper Lincoln cents, just before the U.S. Mint transitioned to zinc-based coins in 1982. That alone gives the 1981 penny a certain importance, as it marks the end of an era. Millions of these coins were minted in Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco, and while most of them were used in everyday transactions, a small number had something different, something special. That's where the mystery begins. Now, if you're new to collecting, you might wonder, what makes a coin like the 1981 penny rare or valuable? Great question. Let's break it down. There are a few key factors: minting errors, condition, and rarity. First, let's talk about minting errors. These are the holy grail for collectors. They're the small mistakes that happen during production, but those mistakes make certain coins one of a kind. With the 1981 penny, you want to keep an eye out for double die errors, especially on the date, the word liberty, or the motto, "In God We Trust." These doubling effects can be subtle, but if you notice that the letters or numbers appear to have a shadow or extra outline, congratulations, you may have found a double die. Another rare variety is the off-center strike. That's when the coin wasn't lined up properly in the press, resulting in a misaligned image. If your 1981 penny has a visible date and is significantly off-center, it could be extremely valuable. Don't forget to check for repunched mint marks, where the D or S was stamped twice by mistake. These errors can be hard to spot, but they are highly sought after by serious collectors who know exactly what they're looking for. Next, we can't skip condition. A 1981 penny found in your pocket with scratches, dings, and fading is likely not worth more than face value. But a penny in mint state condition, meaning it was never circulated and still has its original shine, can fetch a very nice price, especially if it has one of the rare errors mentioned earlier. Now, let's talk about proof coins from the San Francisco Mint. These 1981 S coins were made with a polished die and struck multiple times for a perfect finish. But there's a twist: there are actually two types of 1981 S proof pennies, Type 1 and Type 2. Type 2 has a clearer, more refined S mint mark and is significantly rarer. Collectors often pay a premium for these, particularly when they're graded at the highest levels. And now, the moment you've all been waiting for. You might be asking, what's the real value of this coin if I find one with the right error, in perfect condition? Well, if you're lucky enough to come across a 1981 Lincoln penny with a major error, such as a double die, an off-center strike, or a rare Type 2 proof, and it's in near-perfect uncirculated condition, that little coin could be worth a jaw-dropping $78,000. Yes, you heard it right. $78,000, for a 1-cent coin that most people wouldn't give a second glance at. So before you toss that old penny into a jar or slide it into a vending machine, take a closer look. You might be holding something extremely rare and extremely valuable. Top 4. We're diving deep into one of the most fascinating and collectible pennies ever minted in the United States, the Lincoln penny from 1982. Now, listen very carefully, because this isn't just another coin video. This one could change how you see the pennies sitting in your change jar right now. Let's rewind the clock to 1982, a year of major changes for the U.S. Mint. For over 2 decades, Lincoln cents were made primarily of 95% copper. But in 1982, everything changed. To cut down on rising metal costs, the U.S. Mint decided to switch the penny's composition from copper to zinc coated in copper, a much cheaper material. This transition wasn't instant, though. It happened mid-year, and both versions were minted in 1982. That means there are not just 1 or 2, but 7 different varieties of the 1982 Lincoln cent, and collectors know this year is like a goldmine of possibilities. Let's break it down. There are large date and small date designs. There are copper cents and zinc cents. And these were struck at different mints: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. That means you've got a fascinating combination of coins all released in the same year, with slight but critical differences that can mean the difference between a common penny and a life-changing discovery. Point: one of the most talked about and rarest varieties is the 1982 D small date penny made of copper. For a long time, experts thought this variety didn't even exist, because officially, the Denver Mint wasn't supposed to strike the small date in copper. But then, a few examples surfaced. And when collectors found out, the coin world was buzzing with excitement. Imagine having a coin that was never supposed to be made. That's the kind of rarity that turns an ordinary penny into a prize. But that's not the only thing to watch for. You also want to be on the lookout for minting errors. These can include double die obverse errors, where the date or lettering appears doubled, especially under magnification. Some 1982 pennies show signs of weak strikes, off-center designs, or even planchet flaws, all of which can drastically increase a coin's value depending on severity and visibility. And let's not forget weight. Yes, the weight of a penny matters in 1982. Copper pennies weigh 3.11 grams, while the new zinc ones weigh 2.5 grams. So, if you want to tell the difference at home, just use a precise digital scale. Some collectors have even found 1982 D small date copper pennies by checking the weight first. That's how crucial every detail is. Now, let's talk about condition. You probably already know this, but the better the condition, the higher the value. A heavily circulated coin may be interesting, but a mint state or uncirculated 1982 penny with a rare variety or error? That's the jackpot. So, let's put it all together: a transitional year, multiple varieties, rare composition errors, and mysterious mint mistakes, all packed into the small, humble Lincoln penny from 1982. This is a coin every collector dreams about finding, and now, the moment you've been waiting for. How much could a 1982 Lincoln penny be worth? Well, if you happen to own one of the extremely rare error coins, such as a 1982 D small date copper penny in mint condition, or a variety with a striking mint error, properly authenticated and graded, it could fetch a price of $85,000. That's right. $85,000. For a penny that you might not even notice in your change.so, go check your coin jar, your drawers, your old piggy banks, because that little copper coin you've been overlooking could be the rare gem you've been searching for. Top 5. We're unlocking the story of a small coin with a massive secret, one that could be hiding in your collection or loose change without you even knowing. I'm talking about the 1984 Lincoln penny. Yes, that little 1-cent coin that might just be worth a life-changing amount. So sit back, listen carefully, and stay tuned, because the details I'm about to share might turn your ordinary penny into a piece of numismatic history. Let's set the scene. The year is 1984. Ronald Reagan is in the White House, the Olympics are lighting up Los Angeles, and the U.S. Mint is hard at work producing billions of coins for circulation. Among them is the humble Lincoln penny, featuring the familiar profile of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse. But here's where things get interesting. While billions of 1984 pennies were made, only a tiny fraction contain a rare error, an error that collectors consider one of the most exciting discoveries in Lincoln cent history. And the crazy part? Most people don't even realize they're holding one. So, what makes the 1984 Lincoln penny so special? It's all about a very specific and dramatic error known as the doubled ear variety. That's right, some of the 1984 pennies struck at the Philadelphia Mint show a strong doubling on Lincoln's ear. When viewed closely, especially under magnification, you can clearly see what looks like a second earlobe just behind the original. This isn't a trick of the eye, it's a legitimate double die error, and it happened during the minting process when the coin's die shifted slightly, causing a doubled impression on the design. Now, most double die errors are subtle, you have to squint or use special lighting to see them. But the 1984 doubled ear penny is different. It's bold. It's obvious. And it's valuable, but here's the kicker, not all 1984 pennies have this doubling. And only a select few have survived in mint state condition, making them incredibly rare. If you happen to come across one that hasn't been cleaned, scratched, or damaged, and it's certified in high-grade uncirculated condition, you could be sitting on a small fortune. Let's not forget, even outside of the doubled ear variety, collectors are always on the lookout for other possible errors, off-center strikes, die cracks, blockage errors, and even repunched mint marks. While Philadelphia minted coins don't carry a mint mark, the 1984 Lincoln cents from Denver do, and certain repunched D-mint marks have also grabbed the attention of collectors, and of course, the condition of your coin plays a huge role in its value. A 1984 penny found in circulation, worn down by time, might only be worth face value. But one in uncirculated, mint state condition, especially with a verified error? That's where the big bucks come in. So how do you know if your 1984 penny is one of the rare ones? Step 1. Grab a magnifying glass and look at Lincoln's ear. Do you see what looks like an extra earlobe behind the original? If so, congratulations, you may be holding one of the most valuable penny errors in circulation. Step 2. Check the overall condition. If it looks shiny, sharp, and hasn't been banged up over the years, it could qualify for a high grading, which drastically increases its worth. And now for the moment that will blow your mind. If you're lucky enough to own a 1984 Lincoln penny with the doubled ear error, in pristine, uncirculated condition, professionally authenticated and graded, that tiny copper coin could be worth as much as $95,000. Yes, you heard me right, $95,000 for a single penny. So don't overlook those small coins. Check your old piggy banks, coin jars, and pocket change. That overlooked 1984 cent might just be your unexpected treasure. If this story fascinated you, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and ring the bell so you don't miss the next coin that could change your life. Let us know in the comments if you've come across any rare 1984 pennies, or if you have questions about spotting valuable coins. Thanks for watching, and until next time, keep hunting, keep collecting, and never underestimate the power of a single penny.